This is not the kind of story I'm proud to tell, but it is the truth that I need to share. Now, I know everybody on the internet seems to be perfect people, so all criticism is highly welcome. I'm not sharing this story just to talk. I'm sharing it for people who are open-minded enough and can learn from it. So a few years ago, yeah, I wanted out. I wanted out so badly, bro. Like, I wanted out with my life. I have been a busboy and I've been a busboy for a couple of years, and I wanted out of that state to something else. Now, I wasn't looking for luxury. I was just looking for a life of purpose. I was just looking for a life that could take me out of survival mode, because as at then, all my years of being a busboy, I've just been working so hard just to have shelter and just to feed. And I just thought I needed more out of life. There's no time and I needed more out of life. And I decided to make a very crucial decision. Yeah, I decided to stop going to look for boss. It's going to affect me as at the time, but I decided to stop and look for something else to do. Now I stopped. I came back to the street. Yeah, this is when I began to, as at then, I wasn't really mingling with the boys in my street very well. But now that I'm fully back on the streets, now I begin to like know what's happening, more of what's happening around. So I begin to see that, okay, these guys, they are really doing well, low key. They are really like, they are living the life. Not very big to that level, but actually they could afford most things that I couldn't afford at the time. So I was very eager to know what's happening. What are these guys doing? Then I reached out to them. What's up, bro? What's happening? How are you guys making money? They told me it's Bitcoin. This was the first time I know about Bitcoin trading. Now, I've been somebody that has always loved to do research like hell. So I went back home. I was using a C5, a Symbian phone then. Most of you should know it if you're not the Jay-Z squad. A Symbian phone. So I went to do my research. Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin about? How can I make money on Bitcoin? Now I was doing more research on Google. How can I make money on Bitcoin then? And everything they showed me then was so confusing. Like, I didn't know where to start from. Everything just seemed like a foreign language. So I retreated back to those boys and, okay, can you guys just put me on? Whatever you take, just put me on. I want to be in your league. And they welcomed me. Come over. Then I now found out that everything I saw on the internet was completely different from what they were doing. Yeah, fake profiles, fake promises, and they'll just part away with people money. So they were basically doing investment, fake profile, fake promises, and just going away with people money. But what I saw on the Google was different. So at this point, I was already very hooked, and I decided to join in. Now I joined in and I start to do everything they were doing. Yes, I stole people money. And with every dollars I stole, it took a part of me. So this is just like maybe a confession video, but I did it. I did it for a while. Things began to go well. I was being able to afford some things. Like, I could sit at home and basically take care of my needs, take care of my family, my household. So it was just going like that for a period of time. And I moved out of my family house. I moved out of my family house, got my own apartment. Now, mind you, throughout all of this period, I was still very interested in, because to be honest, the fraud part of trading is something that it didn't really get to me. I knew from the onset that it wouldn't go a long way. Like, this thing wouldn't go a long way. This thing is not something I want to do for long. So I was interested more in the real trading aspect. So throughout all of this thing, I was still taking people's money. But I was still putting a lot of effort trying to learn. At this point in time, I already got a Android phone. Then I was watching countless of videos on YouTube, downloaded Binance. As at then, it was Binance. Downloaded Binance, get to learn how to trade on Binance, start to understand more on Now, I was basically out of survival mode, and I began to understand more of how this platform works. Yeah, I can now place long trades, sell trades. I know how to spot trade. I know how to future trade. I was learning all of these things, and I was still taking people money. Now, I was trying to trade on my own then, but I wasn't really making money then. I was scamming people, and trading was taking away the money. I was scamming and people were trading was taking away the money, but it just continued like that. One way or the other, I just felt like I could have a big break through trading, and whenever that big break clicked, I knew that I'm going to stop fraud and fully concentrate on trading. So that was just the game plan. Now it kept going like that, but a year in, I wasn't even profitable. But it wasn't something that got to me really hard because the source of funding was available. And you know, trading, it is one thing to learn and it is the other thing to be able to fund it. So the source of funding was coming for me as at that time. So I was still putting in pressure, trying to get this thing, trying to crack the code on what's happening on the chat. I was still putting in pressure. Now, as at then, we're using more of trend line, indicators, and all of that, but that was just it. Now, fast forward to let's say a year, something big happened. The source of funding dried up, like my fraud game dried up. Now, when I learned how to do this thing from those boys, I cut off from them. I was in my apartment because then they were close to my mom's house where my mom's apartment was. So this is my mom's house. I just came back from Lagos. They were in the environment, this environment. And at this time, I had already moved out of the environment to, if you're familiar with Kaduna, I've already moved to Goningora. So I moved to Goningora then, and I was just me on my own. It was just me doing my thing, getting money and trying to trade. It was just me getting money from what they taught me and trying to trade. It was just me getting money from what they taught me and trying to trade. So I was just like, this was just the game plan, and I'll keep doing this to take care of myself out of survival mood and funding my trading dream till I become a profitable trader. So the source of funding dried up. It was now a terrible time for me. I could no longer survive the way I used to. I could no even longer fund my trading account, but I was still learning how to trade as at then. So to balance everything up, I reached out to my friend. His name is Godfrey. He's my childhood friend. We've grown in this environment together. Like we're childhood friends. We grow up. In fact, we attended the same primary school before life took its turn and everybody just had to hustle. Attended the same primary school, and he was the one that he was part of the set that taught me the whole thing. Yeah, so I reached out to him, bro, what's up? Is there any recent, like, this shit isn't paying anymore? Then he told me that they reach out to the boys now. There's other ways to pamper this thing to make it pay. I told him, okay, I'll be interested, and I want to come over to learn the new version. So I came over here. He welcomed me. In fact, he started to teach me I was to stay in his house for 3 days. He started to teach me everything. He didn't even withheld any information from me. He started to teach me everything. And I saw that they have really advanced it. Unlike what I was doing, theirs have taken a very perfect turn now to a more advanced level. So I was very intrigued to learn more. Yeah. Now, he started to teach me first day in, good, second day in, good. The third day in, he was expecting a payment from a client, 300,000. Now, what we were doing then is that I know a lot of you guys would have an idea, but everybody is perfect on the internet. So what we were doing then is we were just taking Bitcoin investment. It was just still Bitcoin. Yeah, I told you it was Bitcoin. It was Bitcoin investment from Philippines. So it was just like pesos, but converted to naira. He was expecting 300,000 naira from that client. So immediately the money came in at night, I think around 2 o'clock. We were both awake, and he told me, hey, this lady don't drop. We're using the same format I've been showing you. And I was excited. Okay, this thing is actually working. Now, mind you, I've got money from fraud, but I haven't even get up to 300k before. But I have, in accumulation, yeah, I've gotten more than 300k. But the way I do collect my money is 50k, 100k, based on what I knew. 50k, 100k, 50k, 100k, 50k, 100k, just like that, not more than that. So the money came in, and I was like, oh, so this is a advanced level, bro. These people are even collecting up to 300k. And honestly speaking, I was very happy for him, because I know that as guys, normally if you cash out, you could show your guy love now normally. So it was like something that I knew that, okay, that day everywhere was soft. Now he received the money in his Paxful account. Yeah, Paxful account. And he tried to trade the money out to his Naira account, but it didn't go through. The money didn't go through as at then. Now, I was very curious. He asked me, and I said, I don't have an idea. Now, he hasn't done the KYC verification. At the end of the day, we'll find out that the KYC verification is the reason why the money he's not able to trade the money. So he said, okay, since this is the case, the next day he will go to one of his friend's place, and once he gets to that his friend's place, his friend will do the KYC for him, because it seems he don't have the required IDs to do the KYC verification. So it was just we celebrated, we slept. In the morning we wake up and we head over to his friend's place. On reaching to his friend's place, yeah, they started to do the KYC verification. They were just there. I was here. They were doing the KYC verification. All of a sudden, the money from the wallet gone. 300k gone. Just like that, into thin air. He showed me and I was like very shocked. How comes? What's happening? How? I was shocked because I don't understand what's happening. Now, all of a sudden, from nowhere, they said I had an idea about how the money went. Seriously? How did I unlock your phone? Everything was just happening very fast. The accusations started to come in and they say, bro, give us the money. They took my phone from me. They searched everything possible. But of course, I didn't part away with the money. I could not part away with his money. And they found no evidence. But still, they had a mindset that maybe I already did everything I want to do when we were in the house, and I cleaned the traces. So they were still very pushing it on me. Provide the money. I told them, I pleaded with them, I have no idea about the money, because at the end of the day, I found out that those of his friends, most of them were cultists at the time. So most of them were cultists. I don't roll with them. I just roll with only him. So they started to push that agenda, and before I know it, they don't start to beat me up. Provide the money. Where's the money, bro? They took me out from there. They took me to a room. They threatened to even take my life. Provide the money. Bro, I don't know where this money is. I don't have an idea. I don't know what happened to the money. But everything, the more I try to explain, it just seems like the more these guys, I'm telling them something they don't want to hear. So at the end of the day, they made a decision because as at this time, I already had my own apartment, yeah. I was already living my life on the other side. And they made a decision to go to my house and pack everything that is worth that money. So they went to my house in squad. They even rented a pickup, like a van. They rented the van. They took it to my house. They packed everything, even plus my lips balm. Why they use put for lips? They packed everything. And this property was worth more than 300,000. Was more than 300,000. So everything just happened real fast, and I was so confused. I was so frustrated. I fall into depression, and I felt how it is to take away people things from them. This moment really changed my life, but as at the time, I couldn't sleep. I don't even know how to explain it. Everything was, my girlfriend left me, all of my friends, everything was happening so fast. So fucking fast. So my mom said, okay, it is what it is. It has happened. You just have to take it. But I'm finding it very hard to say, like, this is something I've worked for, although it's calm, but this is something I've worked for years. Like, I've accumulated for years. It's not just something I just accumulated it for years, and everything gone. I explained to one of my aunts, and my aunt took the case personal, and she said, okay, we're going to report this case to the police station. These guys have no, they even bet me up. All the wounds are still on my body. So my auntie, okay, plus all of this evidence, we're going to take it to the police station and make a report. So we went to the police custody, we'll make a report. I'm going to drop screenshots. So we went to the police custody, we make a report. After the report, the police say, okay. Now the police already knew what's up. They already knew that all of us are fraudsters. But I still decided to pursue the case in my own favor, yeah, to get my things back. Now, he said, okay, I'm going to take him to that boy house. They are going to retrieve all of my things. Okay, cool, no problem. On the day he called me, I came in their police van. We went to his house. He was very surprised because it was like 2 months after the whole incident. We went to his house, yeah. They catch him. Now, most of the item he has already sold them. So they have to go and pick up the people he sold them to as well. And they just recovered the main things that they could recover. And what they actually recovered was the things that I have the receipt, like my televisions, my furniture sets, my what's it called? My fridge, and just some things, so major gadgets, yeah. So they just retrieved them for me. Now after they retrieved them, I made the decision that, okay, at this point in time, I don't want to have anything to do with fraud again. I want to concentrate and build a trading career. But at this period of time already, I was already so messed up. Like, life has just played in my face in the way that I could not expect. I could not even concentrate, so I decided to leave my present location and go to somewhere else where I'm going to reset and face the grind properly. So I called a friend, Kelvin. He stays in Lagos, yeah. I called him, I explained to him, bro, I would like to come and stay with you for a while to reset. This is what happened. He said, no problem, you're welcome, you can come over. I was so excited, and I said, okay, on my way to Lagos, yeah. Now I sold everything, all the things that they retrieved for me. Yeah, I sold because I was flat broke at the time. All of these things has already taken all of my money. I was flat broke. I sold everything the police retrieved for me, and inside the items I sold, that was where I even have money to even pay the police. That was how broke I am. So I sold everything, and it was Lagos. I went to the park. I was on my way to Lagos. Now, I never knew this was going to be another entire phase of my life from what I experienced in Kaduna. It was totally different. I came to Lagos, I got to a junction called Vokes. I called him, hey bro, I'm in Vokes now, because I just he described, and I'm in Vokes now. Okay, he's coming. He came and picked me up. Now, immediately I got to Lagos, I found out that the Kelvin in particular is staying with his girlfriend. Jesus, I had no idea. If I had an idea that he was staying with a girl, I think maybe I wouldn't, because I know how this relationship things can be, especially if you're trying to put another person and it's just a one room. So if I have had an idea, I am very sure I wouldn't want to stay with him. I would just rather stay at home and just take all the shame and everything and just grind. So I'm already in Lagos, so I have no choice. We came there, it was all fine at first, we were doing our thing. Now, all of a sudden, these relationship kind of things. Now, I really don't like to even get involved in it, but it's just what it is. Now, Kelvin is not working, I am not working, only his girlfriend was working. So at first, I come with little change from Kaduna now, so we just use that one departure for the meantime. Now, the whole thing gets crazy when my money finished. immediately my money finished, bro. It was a different ball game entirely. Yeah? Now these two people started giving me characters that I could not really wrap my head around. I don't really want to explain what really happened there, because at the end of the day, he's still someone I could say, okay, this is the person that took me in Lagos. So I would not talk much about that one, yeah. But I just had to, I told myself I don't want to do fraud again. So I just had to start looking for something else to do. Then I got a work in a hotel as a dry cleaner. And since the work there would give me accommodation, I decided to take my bags, everything, and go there. So I took my bag, everything, I go there. Now, all of this period, even all of my stay in Kelvin's house, I was still very cautious. Like, I was still putting in I was even putting in more effort. That was when I started this YouTube channel, yeah. I was still putting in more effort to understand trading, because it's just like what I had. That is all I have. I was still putting in more effort to learn trading all of this period of time. So I was working in the hotel, and even in the hotel, I was still putting in a bunch of energy to learn trading, yeah. And it was happening like that. Now, I think 3 months into 3 months. No, it's not even up to 3 months. 2 months plus into being a laundry guy in the hotel, I was sacked. They sacked me. I was out with my bag now, and I could not go back to Kelvin's house based on the vibe, and the energy wasn't just given. So I just took my thing out the hotel, very confused on where to go to. This was when I became homeless again in Lagos. And I think this was what completely changed everything for me. Now, I remember at this day, I just only had a bag, just like a school bag, very confused with my phone. I logged into Twitter. Twitter. I logged into Twitter. Should I ask for help? Everything was in my head. Should I ask for help? I posted the video saying I'm homeless, I need help. I deleted it. Then something happened again. I said, okay, the energy I would use to be asking for help over here, let me try to use the same energy. Since now, as at this time, yeah, I've started seeing results in trading, but no funding, yeah. But I've started seeing that, okay, my analysis is all going well. I could analyze perfectly, like everything is going well, yeah. In fact, before then, I've already been doing some little flipped. There's a time I posted where I flipped $30 to $100. I think I posted it on this YouTube channel as well. Then I was still with Kelvin. I was still staying with Kelvin even before the hotel. So I already started seeing results in my trading. So it was just getting better than before. So when I was out in the street, I said, okay, should I use this energy now to start looking for help, or should I use it to see what I could offer? And this was when I tested brains. If you're more on X, you will know brain. Success brain. I say, hey, I love what you're doing. I would love to give you analysis. I'm very good with it. And they say, what kind of a trader are you? I'm going to show you the screenshot. I think that would be 2024. That would be last year. I'm going to show you the screenshot, yeah? I was homeless when I was texting this guy or this man, or presently my boss. I was homeless when I was texting him. So I texted him. He welcomed me. He was ready, and he said, okay, he gave me a number. I should text him on WhatsApp. And we tested it. I tested him on WhatsApp, and we had a video call, yeah? I was still homeless. I was homeless in Lagos for days. And all of these things I was doing on the street, if I just see one shop which just they close or something, I'll just go patch food there just to do my thing. Now I was surviving with the little money I had I've saved up from the hotel as at then. So Brain gave me a job. He didn't even give me the job immediately. He just put me on a video call and said, okay, let me see what you can do. Explain to me what you can do on the chat. So we're on a video call and I showed him what I could do on the chat, and impressive. He said he will get back to me. I didn't hear from him again. Then somebody took me in. I said, after the whole scenario of me and Mr. Brain, somebody took me in. It was a friend of a friend that I meet when I was a laundry in that hotel. And he just said, okay, you can't be in the street like this, you have to come in. So he took me in. I was very, like, I never knew that people could help people. Like, I completely knew him from nowhere. In fact, when he took me in, there were some people that were saying, you know nothing at Lagos business. How you could just carry somebody where you don't know like that? But in just the reason say last now man they help man. So he took me in. He wasn't feeding me though, but he took me in. Like, the shelter alone was something massive for me. So I'm very grateful for that. He took me in, and fast forward, on a very good evening like that, Brain just sent me a message because I now have his WhatsApp number. He just sent me a message. Okay, I want us to do a partnership. Yeah. I want you to start mentoring some kind of people. I already see what you can do on the chat. I want you to start mentoring these people. I'm going to be giving you $100. Yeah, $100 monthly. So he's putting me on a monthly payment of $100. I was like, seriously? Wow, I was so happy. I was damn happy. So we started the first month and $100 came in. Boom. $100 came in. Then I decided to go leave the boy that took me in, and I decided to go and stay with somebody else. Now the person I was staying with now is just like, he's a friend that I knew around the neighborhood as well. So we're splitting the bills, and I was okay with that one. Like, the house bills, now he already rented the apartment, but me coming in, the agreement was okay, we'll start splitting it. So I was more okay with that one, splitting the bills, and that was what we were just doing. So we started splitting the bills, and I now have a job that is even paying me $100 monthly, and it was just like fulfilling for me. So that was where the whole story started from. Me and Brain starts to work here. We worked. Testimonies were coming in. I'm going to post some of them. I was teaching the people who he asked me to teach. I was teaching them, and they were getting the concept. They were making money out of the concept. Yeah, I'm going to drop some screenshot out of this. And there was the people in the platform. They were making money out of the concept. Good testimonials were coming in, and Brain said, "Okay, I see what you're doing. You're doing good on the platform. I'm topping up your income to $150. He topped it up to $150. We just continued grinding. Everything was going well. People were like, I was just giving in perfect. Now, as at this time, I started to add capital to trade on a personal account. Yeah, so whenever I get money like that, I will trade. I will sort of my bills because I also needed to feed all of my stay in Lagos. I know even since I cook for once, I was just literally buying food, so the expenses was on the high side as well. So I'll sort up my bills, I'll trade, I'll make money. Everything just seems to be going well as at the time. I now don't experience lack anymore, and it was just like a blessing. Eventually, Brain decided to add up, and he was giving me $200 every month, and I decided to go hard on my own trading account. I bought a prop firm, traded the prop firm. I passed. In fact, you see this laptop, this particular laptop, and this phone I'm using to record now is a 16 Pro Max. I bought it for 1.8 million naira. These are money I got from the prop firm. I'm going to drop screenshot as well. So I traded the prop firm account, I passed the prop account, I got withdrawals, and everything was just going well. Then this was when I decided to say, okay, I want to come back to Kaduna. I want to come back to Kaduna. I want to come back to where I left off from. I just felt like already reset in Lagos, and now I'm back to Kaduna. I just got back to Kaduna. You can see my bag is still right behind me. I just got back to Kaduna, and I want to use this time out to do everything in which I've always had to do. I always wanted to chase purpose, yeah. I always wanted to chase purpose, and I think this is the right time to start it. This is the right time to document my journey and the whole game. This is the right time to start documenting my grind. This is I just want to give this out and know that I'm in my late 30s, yeah, and so far so good. I think what I've get to achieve now is something that even when I was doing fraud, I don't think I've been able to just get it in the short period of time, because all of these things, everything, I'm not where I want to be yet. I still have a lot to do. I still have a long road to go to, bro. Like, I'm still far behind. I'm still very far behind, but if what I experienced before because of 300,000 naira, if what they did to me because of 300,000 naira, it was very crazy. And I know that in the north here, because I'm in Kaduna presently, I left Lagos already a few days ago. In the north here, the amount of poverty is on a, like, the poverty rate is very high. So 300,000 is like a very big deal for them now, and for me, I don't see that as a very big deal again. So I'm also grateful for that level I've got to right now in my life, and I just want to record the whole grind. And this is the purpose of me making this video. So from now on, I want to be very consistent on YouTube. I want to be very consistent on my social media platform. I want to show you that everything is possible, and the money you think you can't make without being fraudulent, you can also still make it. Anything is possible, yeah. I have never made like a bunk 2 million naira in my life, even when I was doing fraud. I have never. No, I know some people used to make it, but I don't know the kind of fraud they are doing through. But the one I was taught, that pesos investment, and I have never made 2 million naira. But with trading, I have made it. So the gap difference is just so much. And I wish I never started. I wish all of the time I could have just I really wish all of those times I spent trying to create fake profiles. I wish I have put more energy in learning this thing then, yeah. I really wished. I won't lie, I really wished. But anyhow, it is what it is, and everything happened for a purpose. But from now on, I'm staying locked in. I'm trying to prove to the world that whatever you want out of a grind, you just want to be dedicated to it. Now, I learned a lot of lessons in Lagos. I learned a lot of lessons before I left Kaduna to Lagos, and I'm going to be talking about some of them in the preview. I don't want to make this video very long. I'm going to be talking about some of them in the videos I'm going to be uploading. So do ensure to follow me, to subscribe to my channel, and you see the full grind. I'm going to create a lot of impact. Have a lovely day.